Hey guys, so today I'm going to be doing something different. I'm going to be doing a informative session on why pretend play is important. And the reason why I'm doing this is quite a few people have commented on my blog post, mfatopocketchange.blogpost.com, and I did an article not so long ago on why pretend play is important and why we as adults, as parents, as grandparents, as aunts, uncles, teachers, whatever you want to call it, should encourage pretend play, and why we shouldn't be replacing elements that create a situation for pretend play with technology. So this is going to be very informative, and if I do look down a lot, it's just I wrote down a couple of points because I don't want you to not get everything. I don't want to miss a point, in other words. So excuse me if I look down a lot, it's just so that I don't forget. And the way I'm going to go through this is I'm going to start with 18 to 24 months, then 24 months on its own, then ages 2 to 3, 3 years old, and then 4. And then I'm going to go through various things of how we can facilitate or encourage it. So between the ages of 18 to 24 months, many toddlers will begin to play their first pretend games. And they're going to act out everyday situations, everyday things that they see adults do. Like they'll pick up a phone and they'll start talking, or like putting on their shoes, or using keys to unlock a door. You know, they might not have the actual item in their hand, but they're going to pretend. At 24 months of age, your toddler is most likely going to display signs of representational thinking or symbolic thinking. In other words, one object, like a banana, can start to stand in for a phone. In other words, ring ring, hello, who's talking on my banana phone? You get what I'm saying? At this stage, your toddler might start to play with dolls and pretend that they're real, so start feeding them, start giving them a bottle, putting them to bed, and even in some situations where girls are in a home where mom is breastfeeding, they will pretend to breastfeed. It doesn't necessarily mean they lift up their shirt, but they'll like put baby there, their doll there, and they'll pretend to breastfeed. And don't be surprised if boys do this as well. Like, I know a lot of women, or even dads, get weirded out when they see their son picking up a doll and like loving a doll and like trying to breastfeed, or like putting it in a baby carrier. You know, these are all stages of life. It's nothing weird. It doesn't mean that he's gay. It doesn't mean that he's a weirdo. It doesn't mean he's bisexual. It doesn't mean anything like that. He's just exploring what he has, and it's natural for them to experience this protectiveness and this wanting to do what mommy does or wanting to do what daddy does. Between the ages of 2 and 3, your toddler will start to demonstrate increasingly complex representational and symbolic thinking in their play. In other words, a 2-year-old needs a toy bottle to kind of look like a toy bottle in order for them to use it. Whereas your 3-year-old can pick up a shoe and pretend it's a bottle. Take the shoe, put it in the baby's mouth, it's drinking milk. Nothing wrong with it. The older stages of a 3-year-old, your child's pretend play is firing on all cylinders. He's all there. This is the age of tea parties, construction sites, dinosaur migration, dinosaur battles, fairy castles, princess stories, horse rides, rocket ships to space, you name it. Anything they can think of and anything that they can create for pretend play, they're going to create it. And anything will fit that cause. Boxes, bottles, duvets, pillows. This is the age where pillow forts come into play as well. At age 4, your child's imaginative play will include even more elaborate make-believe stories. And they will have extended storylines, and they'll have lots of character acting, and they'll have lots of characters, and they'll have lots of people. Basically, they're having as much fun as what a little person can have at that age. So then we have to ask ourselves, if pretend play is so important, which it is, how can we encourage it? And how can we do it from when they're little? So toys that resemble objects from the real world tend to be big hits with children. And it helps them take their first steps into this world of imagination and make-believe. So kids' versions are cell phones, keys, food, pots, pans, all that variety of things. It's important. It's gonna make them want to pretend to be like mom and like dad or like aunt and like uncle. And it starts to create this, but I can pretend to be like them. I'm not them, but I can act like them because I have these things at my disposal. Then we move on to things that, sorry, I heard a noise. You can have a toilet roll, for example, and in a blink of an eye, it'll become a telescope. It'll become a walking stick. It'll become a tunnel for their cars. It'll become a kaleidoscope. A box can become a rocket ship, a racing car, a cot, a cradle. It can become a fort. I mean, it's going to happen. We need to then start to find the balance of when to, in a sense, almost start putting on the brakes a little bit. And I say this carefully because by pretending to play, one creates a good thinker later. And they become good storytellers and they become confident in who they are. So one needs to pick your battles carefully. And I say this, for example, if your child is wearing a nightie and it's their special princess nightie, it's their magical princess dress, but they want to wear it to preschool or to school for the third day in a row, do you stop them or do you let them go to school? Do you fight over the giant dinosaur migration that's not happened underneath the dinner table before dinner? Do you fight over the fact that they want to wear their special rocket slippers to school? You got to find the balance. When do you start putting on the brakes? Because remember, children haven't learned the fact that there is a boundary between reality and pretend. And as adults, it's our responsibility to teach them that. But on the same hand, you don't want to stop them from pretending. You don't want to stop them from playing because it's important. And then the last thing that is a part of pretend play is having an imaginary friend. Now, an imaginary friend is signs of someone who is very good at socializing, who wants to talk, that has a very active imagination. And the fact that it's active is a good thing. Back in the days, people used to think, I have a child that's got an imaginary friend. They're lonely, they're bored, they're weird, they've got psychological problems. And that's actually not true. You have a child who's created an imaginary friend. They're creative. They've managed to conjure up this person in their brain and they converse with this person. They solve problems, they learn how to speak, they do things together. It's important. And one way for you to encourage it is to befriend their imaginary friend and to go into that world a little bit. Say, this is not a problem. It only becomes a problem when this imaginary friend stays late into their young life, like when you're looking at 9, 10, early teens. Then it becomes a problem. Then you've got to start addressing the fact of, why do you still have an imaginary friend? Is there something going on that you still find comfort from? And you'll often find that'll be present in kids who have a very rough or very difficult home life. But all in all, pretend play is important. It creates this world where they can explore. And it's a safe way of exploring, and they can design and create. And it sparks off this thing that I can be anything that I want to be. I can be like mom, I can be like dad, I can be like a superhero, I can be like a cartoon character. And it gives them the confidence that one day they're going to use in like the real world, where I can be who I want to be. I don't have to be who you are, I can be who I want to be. So I encourage you today, encourage pretend play. If your child doesn't know how to pretend play, sit down with a box of toys and start making up stories. Pretend you're a dinosaur or a vampire or a princess or a king. You know, if your child is like that and it makes you awkward, forget about the fact that you're an adult. Go down to your child's level. And I don't mean literally. I mean, stop thinking critically like an adult. Let go of all those inhibitions. Be silly and crazy with your little one. It only happens once with that specific child. It's important. It's important to do that. So I encourage you, go out there and be fairies and princes and kings, or explorers or astronauts or alien scientists. In my 15 years of working with kids, I've had a large variety of pretend play incidences, and let me tell you, they've been some of the best times of my life. Just getting down to a child's level and having fun and seeing the world through their eyes and seeing it in the color that they see it. Man, it's a special place to be. Anyway, my next video that I'm going to be doing is, I'm going to be talking about outside play, and I'm going to be doing a couple more others as we go along. So I thank you for watching. Please share this video. If you have any questions, please comment below. If you have questions but you don't want to hear me talking, then just ask for my blog and you can go and read what I've been discussing. Anyway, thanks for watching. Click the thumbs up button to show that you like the content. Comment below, like I've just said. Hit the subscribe button. Why? Because I really want to have more people in this community. And I want you guys to be able to get the content. And most importantly, it's for free. All you need to do is have some form of an email account. I think it's a Gmail account. And you put in your details and voila, you're a member. Thanks for watching. Bye.